Le ka klenach Meda DeWitt yuchat duasak klinget klenach zitsinok yuchat duasak nanyaina chatsati kachadi yadi chatsati shtakin kwan ayachat. I am Tlingit and also part Tahltan, and I was born on Prince of Wales Island in southeast Alaska, but my family's come from Wrangell and Yakutat.
And my grandfather, he was a country doctor. He would see the Native women, treat them, and deliver their babies. And so he'd get paid in food and knowledge.
Gabe is my son, and he is my plant Padawan. So part of our culture and the reason why it's alive and well is the intergenerational transmission of knowledge, and especially through oration or storytelling, which may be different or counter to what some people learn about Alaska Native peoples. These are mountain bluebells. Not everybody calls them bluebells, but locally, a common name for us is bluebells or mountain chiming bells. It's a balancer, a whole body balancer, and so it just has a calming effect. These flowers and the greens on the top, especially if you find the smaller ones, they're close to the ground, they're coming out. Again, they're going to be good for salads, to eat raw.
The bluebells, the portion of it that is actually the flower, whenever they are fully in bloom, you can pinch off the flower and eat it, and then if you pinch it just right, you can get the nectar with it. So it's very sweet, and it's a really good treat.
It's going to be high in bioflavonoids as well as just base vitamins and minerals. The beautiful thing about this is you can have a lot of this and there aren't the contraindications. It's something easy to teach children because you don't have to worry about them making a mistake or eating too much or too little. There is a lookalike that is from Europe, but it's very tall and it has larger leaves, and it's actually not good for you. And it's kind of interesting because it looks almost identical, and people buy it and put it in their yard thinking it's this plant. But it's a different plant genus altogether, even though it looks almost exactly the same. Oh, this is alder. You can identify alder when there's no leaves on it because you have these white spots, and it's kind of bushy. Now there's a couple of different alders. There's a red alder, and then also we have like Sitka alder, which is more of a tree, but this one is more bushy and has the spots. You can also tell these leaves, and the leaves that you want to use are going to be towards the end that are fresher, and they're going to be, again, shiny underneath. So you can actually use this for mosquito bites, no-see-um bites, any kind of insect bites, and it's going to draw out the poison and end the itching. This is a fun one for kids because it sticks. You see it's stuck, and you pull it off and you have like a leaf tattoo. So it's a really fun one for children. It has analgesic property to it, which means it helps to reduce pain and inflammation. In the Dene areas, right now we're on Dene territory, and so some of the Dene areas would take the new ones and they would create a bundle of switches and just switch their back in the steam. Across the state, everybody used medicinal plants in steam bath, and your back has tons of nerve endings, pores, and muscles, so when you're switching, you actually absorb it through the skin and into the body.
Oh my darling, you loved me.
Yeah,
you
I
bring
brought
me stingy plants.
Yes. So yeah, this is stinging nettle. It is honestly, I would say it has to be one of my favorite plants as far as teas go, because the flavor of the tea is very earthy, planty taste. Now, the reason for that is because this plant specifically is very high in your iron and earthy minerals. People would intentionally get themselves stung by this plant. The serotonin agent causes your skin and your veins and nerves to sort of swell and go into a state of overextension, but then on their return back, they actually return to a state of vascular mobility to a point where your nerves and veins are happier for it. Cortisone, the antihistamine, is also present within this plant. On top of that, like I said, it's a very, very mineral-rich tea and a complete protein, meaning you could, quote-unquote, survive off of this plant as your main protein source while you're eating other plants, of course, as your carbohydrates and your greens. But it will help your nerves be less prone to pain. So if you're a very, very pain-sensitive person where small scrapes, small bumps, and pinches and things like that cause great pain to you, it's worthwhile to switch yourself with this to help cause those almost symptoms to go away.
The trick with nettle is you're just gonna harvest the top. And because it's part of the mint family, it's like a 7-headed hydra. It's gonna pop out 4 new growths. So you can actually come through and harvest this multiple times in a year. Another thing about this plant is it's one of the plants that will release pheromones that tell other plants that there's a herbivore predator in the area. It releases pheromones that then increases the sting of the patch and tells the other plants that there's somebody disturbing them and thrashing. So with these plants, you want to go low and slow. And I mean, we have a little bit of sunshine right now, which is great actually, because we've been kind of cold all day. But if you've had a day of full sun and you come and just like come in and grab nettles, it's gonna sting. It's gonna just hurt really bad. You get used to it, but if you do it in the shade or a cloudy day and you're just chill, low and slow, it's not gonna react the same way. So this one is what I wanted to talk about earlier, but like I said, the moose had nubbed it in my yard. So this is a wild red currant. And one of the ways that you can tell it's a red currant is because it has this bark that peels off like this. Another word for this is also cramp bark. So you can actually peel these off and make a tea out of them, and it helps with either menstrual cramps or muscle cramps in the body. If you look at the live ones, it's going to be peelable as well. You can use that, like I said, for tea. The red currants, not only was the bark good, but the berries, they're low in antioxidants, but they're some of the highest in just broad spectrum nutrients. One of the earlier berries that you can pick in July. It's great to harvest them in the evening when the sun is coming through the forest at an angle, and then you can look under the underbrush and they're a little translucent, and so the sun will shine through them and create like a bright red shine that you can find. And I call it like my berry zen, because it's just like a spiritual practice to go out there and just look and be present and in the brush and really close. So the willow species, there's over 141 different species in the Salix family. We're looking at these different willows and walking, and even just in this area we have 3 different willows. So one of these, which we just tasted, has a really beautiful velvety under, and it's light, and it has a nice floral, almost kind of a protein-esque flavor note to it. All of the Salix family has salicylic acid, like Gabe was talking about earlier. So it's going to have the analgesic properties, which is the pain relief. It's going to have the reduced fever effects. It's going to help to thin the blood if you have thick blood. It's also high in vitamin C as well. And it's one of the plants that is stored throughout the winter. Now, if it's the edible ones that are good to eat, some of the Yupik ladies will pick just pillowcases full of them and store them in seal grease throughout the winter.